Although I absolutely loved playing Mario games during my childhood and still do to this day, I'm ashamed to admit that I was never a fan of his older brother Luigi. Obviously I am now, but as a kid I only liked Mario for some reason. Probably because he was the quote-unquote main character in my mind. I also never knew Luigi starred in his own adventures until Luigi's Mansion 3 was announced on Switch, but I batted my eyes at it because I'm not a fan of being scared. Although I am proud to say that I did not get scared during my playthrough. My mother would be so proud. I'm very glad I finally played this game after years of it being out. It's extremely charming and equal parts spooky. It was an overall great time most of the way through. So with that, it's time for all things Luigi's Mansion 3. The game starts with a gorgeous landscape and one of the cutest openings to a game ever. Luigi and crew are all packed up and ready to head to a hotel they got invited to. I thought this was Luigi's Mansion, not Hotel Luigi. 0 out of 10, don't recommend. Upon arriving, you'll already get a feel for the love and attention put into this game. Everyone is expertly animated and super expressive. Every interaction and cutscene put a smile on my face. The characters can be quite funny at times, and some of the faces Luigi makes are hilarious. Although everything looks grand and inviting on the surface, there is of course a darker reason for inviting the crew out here. That being for the hotel manager to release King Boo and trap Mario and friends in picture frames. Fortunately, Luigi's cowardice helped him escape by running away from King Boo. But now he has to face his fears and rescue his friends. Luckily, with the help of EGAD's inventions, the Poltergust G00 and Guigi, he'll be able to defend himself from the horrors of the hotel. EGAD, what exactly were you doing with that when I wasn't here? Maybe it's best if I don't know, actually. The Last Resort seems like mostly a normal hotel with how the floors are designed. However, later in the game, the floors will become very different from what you'd expect in a hotel. I was genuinely surprised by how many ideas they were able to come up with. And there is so much for you to interact with on each floor. Odds are if you think you can interact with something in some way, then you can. And most of the time they reward you for taking the time to explore by making you filthy rich. Like seriously, who left this much money here? At this point, Luigi could just buy his own mansion. Unfortunately, there isn't really much to buy with the money unless you're a completionist and want to know where the booze and gems are. It's pretty hard to argue that this isn't one of the best looking games on Switch. The lighting, atmosphere, and animations is some of the best the console has to offer. This is no fault of the game, but man, I felt really stupid at times. Because I am. Some puzzles took me quite a while to figure out, which is embarrassing to admit, but it felt extremely relieving when I finally figured out the solution. This isn't me saying I didn't like the puzzles, by the way. I still had fun figuring them out. They are very well made and incorporate most of your abilities, including Guigi, who definitely pulls his weight and helps you find things otherwise inaccessible to Luigi. There was only one puzzle that I actually didn't like very much. This goddamn sewer puzzle. Well, not the whole thing, just one part. The ducky doesn't control very well, so I ended up running into the wall or the sharks multiple times and had to redo it. Maybe that's not a common problem though, and I just suck shit, which is a very high possibility. Although I absolutely adored the way this game looks, I was a bit worried I wasn't gonna like the gameplay. Luckily, my worries were washed away fairly quickly. There are a good variety of ghosts you'll encounter, and they all have their own personalities and use items that are related to the floor you're on, which makes encounters far more interesting and fun since they'll require extra steps before you can suck them up, which kept me engaged in the combat till the very end. Although there were definitely some combinations of enemies they put together that were annoying to fight, but those were few and far between that it really wasn't an issue. The bosses are fantastic, each one being pretty different on how you defeat them, and they stand out more than the basic ghosts. I was expecting them to be somewhat similar, but they ended up being quite unique. They're like mini puzzles to figure out, and once you do, it's so satisfying to finally be able to slam them onto the ground like Hulk. Even after I felt like a boss I just faced was gonna be hard to top, they managed to top it every time. There was only one boss I didn't like very much. It really just felt like a waste of time and didn't need to be there. A majority of them were great though. I immediately had a smile on my face once I made it to a better boss. Luigi's Mansion 3 was fantastic the whole way through. Despite some problems I had, like annoying combinations of enemies and that one boss, it was hard to stay mad at the game for too long as it was just a joy to play through. I'm very upset at myself for waiting this long to play one of these games. If the other games have nearly half the charm this one did, then I definitely want to play them. I will no longer bat my eyes when a new Luigi's Mansion gets announced. I don't usually like spooky games, so this is the best I could do for like a Halloween video without scaring myself too bad. But I think I made the right choice because I got to have fun, and wasn't just scared all the time. Anyway, I hope you all had a great Halloween, and I'll see you in my next video, unless I get taken by the spooky people tonight. Don't ask about the spooky people.